Since Revenant caves are still packed, I did all 10 hours late at night when there are less people online, so I could avoid large teams of pkers and get more Revenant kills for myself. But even when playing super late in the most dead times, I still died 6 times and escaped maybe about 20 plus times from Revenant pkers. And something that kind of baffled me was that even with all these large teams of pkers coming through, the worlds were just still full of people. I mean, I'd really hate to imagine how chaotic this place is on peak times. At points it got so bad, I was just wishing for a team of pkers to come clear a world just so I can get a few minutes of non-interrupted kills. The worst of it was always at the southern end of the cave, where there's like 3 or 4 people trying to out DPS each other on a few Revenants spawning there. The reasoning for them being so clumped up in that one southern spot is because it hits level 30 wilderness and below, while the rest of the cave is 31 wilderness and above. So if you're sitting in that southern spot and you see like a massive team of pkers coming at you, you can immediately teleport away and keep all your nice and expensive loot. Well, assuming first that you had Dragonstone jewelry or a seed pod, which is kind of necessary if you're going to try to kill Revenants. And no, I didn't hide in that corner. I tried to get a nice sample of all the Revenants. So I killed everything, from the Revenant Imps to the Revenant Dragon. And I can't really say I noticed a difference in the amount of unique drops between the different Revenants. And while on the topic of unique drops, there is this one unique drop that I found insanely useful. The Etherium Bracelet. In fact, with this bracelet alone, I'm sure I can go on killing Revenants for hours on end without any food or prayer pots. Because what this bracelet does is it makes all the Revenants unaggressive, and you become immune to all the Revenant damage while wearing it. And yeah, it does have to be charged with Revenant Ether for it to have those effects, and that's actually completely fine because Revenant Ether is guaranteed drop from all Revenants. So it's essentially self-sufficient, and that's probably also why you won't see much Revenant Ether in the price check. But there is a catch. Both the bracelet and any Revenant Ether you have on you will always be lost on death. Always. It doesn't matter if you have Protect item on, or even if you're just 3-iteming. You will always lose this item. And even with that, I say it's still worth it. The bracelet itself is only worth about 50k in the Grand Exchange, and the loot you're going to get from the Revenants will pay that off easily. And if you don't buy the bracelet, you're probably just going to end up using that money to buy food that could have been saved by using the bracelet. Alright, now let's go over the rest of my gear and why I chose what I did to kill the Revenants. The Black Dragon Hide, although not necessary because I don't take any damage from the Revenants, it's to hopefully get pkers to splash on me when they try to use teleblock or even freeze me, and it generally gives me a higher probability of escape. I used the Steel Axe to make a canoe from outside of the Grand Exchange to a relatively close distance to the Revenant Cave. You could also use a Burning Amulet to teleport to the Lava Maze, which is pretty close to the Revenant Cave, but I preferred using the canoes. I chose the bandos godsword because it's the cheapest out of all the 4 godswords, and because I have the enchanted salve amulet which increases melee strength and accuracy by 20%. The blowpipe also works pretty well on Revenants, but because of the cost of scales and darts, I just prefer not to use it. If you really wanted to, you could even bring an enchanted imbued salve amulet that buffs range stats for the blowpipe. But then again, chances are you would lose that amulet to a team of pkers. And that's not an easy amulet to imbue. 800,000 Nightmare Zone points just gone. So with my bandos godsword that stacks the bonuses from the salve amulet and the piety prayer, I could easily out DPS most people with blowpipes trying to take my kills. I'm sure in the future we'll find better weapons to use, but for the moment, these 2 are the best for Revenants. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the loot. This is all the loot I received from 10 hours of killing Revenants. After selling it, I got 13.8 mil, and when I reduced the cost of supplies, I was left with 11.5 mil. Which gives me an average of 1.1 mil an hour. Keep in mind that Jagex did say you should make around 2 mil an hour from these caves, so maybe I just got unlucky with the drops. Or it could have been that I was just way too crowded to get kills efficiently, even when I was playing in the most dead hours of the night. Still, 1.1 mil an hour is pretty decent. In conclusion, if getting occasionally PK doesn't bother you and you have either a godsword or a blowpipe at your disposal, maybe check Revenants out. I mean, you could always hit that ultra rare drop table and get 100 dragon plate legs. This has been loot from 10 hours of Revenants. Thank for watching.